Good evening. It is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, and coming to you from the Lonely Tree Media Studios in Yakima, Washington. This is the Best Slam Sports Show. I'm your host, David Lamb, and with me is my son, Parker. Say hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker. Yep.
Rare form. Audience is in rare form.
Always are.
You know, I mean, I think it's one of the top 5 audiences in broadcasting.
I didn't know the cats could make that sound with their paws.
Well, I've trained them. I've trained them better. You got to teach them when they're young. That's a secret. We are streaming on YouTube. We're on Twitter at Lamb Sports, on Facebook under the Best Lamb Sports Show. And you can send us an email, lambsports@gmail.com. And please check out our webpage, www.lambsports.com. You can find links to the past show's current trivia question is on there. So we're recording these lately. This is going to be our thing, I think, for a while because it sounds better.
It's nice, yeah.
There's less drop off. I mean, we don't have a lot of those technical glitches that we have. They're usually just my fault now. It's not actually like a connection issue.
And it gives us the opportunity to do it whenever we have the free time.
Right. And so we're recording this on Tuesday. It's going to be available to the public starting at midnight tonight. So officially the 1st. There's no time schedule for it. I'm not going to give it a scheduled time. It's just available. So if you're a subscriber, if you've gone to YouTube and you subscribe to our channel, you'll get a notice that says, hey, there's a new episode. And away you go. It's pretty cool.
Little red dot up in the corner, literally, and then you go listen to it. Yeah.
Yep. That's that easy. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do the commercial first. Let's pay the bills first, because
pay the bills.
Because that's what we do, right? So the opening segment of the show is brought to you by The Range. The Range is Central Washington's premier indoor shooting destination at 34,000 square feet. The Range is an all-inclusive facility offering firearm training, retail sales and supplies, full gunsmithing and repairs, custom builds, and Cerakote services. We talked about Cerakote services last episode, in case you guys didn't hear it.
Learned about it.
And you missed it. It's all under one roof at The Range. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 7, Sunday, 11 to 5. Go see our friends at The Range, 1701 Garrettson Lane in Yakima. Phone number is 509-571-1449. And right now, if you're listening and you go to The Range, they have gift baskets for the holiday season. And I know what you're saying, right? At a shooting range, how do you give a gift?
What is in the gift basket?
How do you get a gift basket? Well, example being, one of them is the Guns and Grub bundle. And
it has a gun in it, or is that
grub in it? So what it has is like a lane pass, so it pays for your lane, right? It comes with 2 boxes of ammo, 9mm ammo, nice. Which, by the way, is about $20-something a box. It comes with hearing and eye protection, right? So you can go to the range, and all you'll need to do is bring your firearm or rent one if you'd like. And then in addition, it has a $25 gift card to the Yakima Steak Company in there.
Ooh.
So you can go eat and go shoot and, best of both worlds. It's fantastic. Anyway, but there's bundles like that. One of them's a concealed carry bundle, and it's got different things. And, I mean, there's all kinds of neat things in there. But one of them's the Range bundle, which is just a bunch of Range-branded, let's call them stocking stuffers or things.
Sure. The T-shirts, hats.
Yeah, exactly. All that kind of stuff. But it's really cool. Anyway, go see our friends at The Range. 1701 Garrettson Lane. I probably said that in Yakima. Phone number again, 509-571-1449. The Range, educate, equip, and empower. So we got some stuff to talk about, and because we haven't been on, thanks to Thanksgiving. That's interesting.
Thanks to Thanksgiving. Yep, don't like it.
I don't either. Didn't sound great. I didn't feel right coming out. But we got college football. All right.
Yep.
We're nearing the final college football playoff poll, and the last one came out today. We're talking about that. We're going to talk about the Oregon Ducks. We're going to talk about NCAA basketball. We're going to talk about the Blazers. We're going to talk about the Timbers. We're going to talk about the NFL, right? And how good are those Seattle Seahawks now, huh? We're talking about that.
How about them Seahawks?
How about Anyway, all of that. But first, we are going to talk about. You know what? Let's talk about the Ducks first. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hold on to the trivia question. I was going to do it, but
let's hold on to your seats, people.
Let's hold on to it. Yeah, we're off script already. Let's talk about the Ducks first because it's kind of where I want to start. After laying an egg at Utah 2 weeks ago, and I think that's
being generous.
The only way to really describe it. And they got routed 38-7 at Utah, and it wasn't even close. In a game that wasn't as close as the score indicates.
Right.
But they regrouped and beat Oregon State in the game formerly known as the Civil War, 38-29. Oregon came out.
You could have fooled me that it wasn't called the Civil War anymore.
Oh yeah,
well, everyone just calls it that.
That's because that's been that way for 100 and something years.
And it's because Oregon State fans and Oregon fans are usually pretty nice to each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
fairly civil, yeah.
But we can't call it that. Blah 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 blah. I get it.
Yeah, that's where I think the proactiveness took it a little too far. I was like, there was nothing wrong with the name of this.
There wasn't. No, there wasn't anything wrong with it. I mean, there's no. These are two teams from the same state. There's no affiliation with any.
With any war.
Oregon was Union. Okay. Yes, Oregon was on the north. But do you think there was any fighting in the Northwest during the Civil War? Negative.
They were all ag people, man.
So
no one cared.
Just let it go. Just let that go. I mean, this is what it is. This is what it's been called, and I'm going to continue to call it that.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, but they won 38-29. Oregon came out pretty strong in this one. They led it 31-9 with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter before they kind of, I don't know, let Oregon State kind of creep back. It wasn't full creep back, but it was enough.
It wasn't as close as some of the other ones where they've let teams.
It was enough to feel
close.
A little tense.
Yeah.
I mean, so Oregon's up 31-9. Oregon State scores. B.J. Baylor, a 4-yard run, and then they recovered an onside kick and scored again.
That was big, yeah.
Yeah, to make it 31-21. At that point, you're probably biting your nails just a little. You're not allowed.
Well, I was. I'm sitting next to Joey, and I'm going, man, this is when it happens. This is how it looks.
And then Oregon State kicked it off deep, and Oregon put it away with a 9-play, 75-yard drive to end up with a Travis Dye 1-yard touchdown run. But just to make it fun, the Ducks gave up a 12-play, 75-yard TD. They ended with Chance Nolan scoring from a yard out, and the Beavers converted the two-pointer like the first time in their last four. They had tried it like 4 times that game.
They were 1 of 5 on 2-point conversions for the day, and they missed the first one trying to be sneaky and tricky, and then we're constantly trying to battle back for those
to get that point again. Yeah,
and it kept putting them into a bigger hole. I mean, they left 8 points on the board in 2-point conversions.
That's the problem I see a lot of teams. They try to go for that 2-point early, and they don't get it, and now you're chasing that point the rest of the game. It's like you have to go for 2 the rest of the way.
I think the key is to not panic with it, and the next time you go out, just kick a field goal. Kick your extra point. Yeah. Don't worry about trying to get back, and then make it just you lost 1 point on the game. No big deal. You'll make that back with a touchdown or a field goal at some point. Don't worry about it.
But that made it 38-29, and then
touchdown.
They onside kicked again, Oregon State, but Oregon recovered and ran out the clock.
That onside kick that they recovered was beautiful. Yeah. It was gorgeous.
Well, they're designed. I mean, everybody does it a different way. Some people do it weird ways, but the basic idea is you hit the top of the football as hard as you can and hope it gets this gigantic spin on it and pops into the air at the right time.
Right.
Yeah. That's the textbook onside kick. Some of them just
and that one happened that way.
Yeah, and some of them just drill it as hard as they can, hoping it'll bounce off someone.
Right.
Which is another option. But if everybody just parts the ways, it goes out of bounds and you get a penalty. Anyway,
it's true.
Oregon recovered it, ran out the clock. Anthony Brown in this one, 23 of 28 for 275 and 2 touchdowns. Travis Dye, 20 carries, 99 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devin Williams had 6 catches for 110 yards and a big touchdown. Kayvon Thibodeau had a tackle for a loss and 3 quarterback hurries, although he didn't get a sack. The Oregon did not record a sack the whole game.
Yeah, it was weird watching it. They were getting pressure into the backfield, but no one's he can escape plays. He's pretty elusive. And then between that, they had dump off players galore for these moments. They planned for it. They planned for their quarterback to be in a hurry and to have somebody to dump it off to. So every single play had an outlet, had a running back who's sitting in the flat, or had a tight end coming across low, something where you could just get it to somebody.
Which is something we've seen quite a bit. You and I went to the Colorado game, and then you were at this one. And it's something that we see teams literally scheming for Kayvon Thibodeau. Running away from him or doing quick hitting plays where they let him go and it's a screen pass his side, or it's you know what I mean? They're trying to not let him get involved, and yet he's still in there getting a tackle for loss and 3 hurries. It doesn't matter what you do. He's going to disrupt something at some point.
It just means that Oregon has to have another player on the other end.
That would be
because that guy's going to get everything's coming his way.
That would be
ideal. So if you're ready to eat, man, here's the time.
Ducks scored on 6 of 7 full possessions. The last possession doesn't count the onside kick. They ran 2 plays to run out the clock, but the other 7 possessions they scored 6 times, and they held the ball for 37 minutes, had 506 yards of offense. As a spectator in the crowd, did it look like a dominating win from Oregon?
Yes.
Okay.
There was that moment like we talked about where they scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and you're kind of like falling back in your seat because you know what the Ducks have done all season, letting teams kind of inch back into games. You felt a little nervous about it, but I tried to remind myself, okay, one of those touchdowns was off of we're not going to call it a trick, but it was an onside kick that no one was ready for. And so they scored on a short field. But no, I felt like from start to finish, the Ducks offensively were able to do whatever they wanted. That's enough. If the Ducks offense is rolling, the defense doesn't really have to worry about too much. It'll make enough stops. It'll do enough things right. So yeah, it looked like a dominating win from start to finish.
Well, good. It seemed fun that way from what I saw. Just it had a couple of those tense moments at the end, and then it also had, and I'm looking at the play-by-play, and I didn't see this necessarily specifically, but I'm watching. Where is it? I gotta find it now. So on 3rd and 8 at the Oregon State 32.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is late in the game with Oregon leading 31-21 on that last drive, the last touchdown drive for Oregon.
Sure.
Leading by 10. Byron Cardwell runs for 31 yards down to the Oregon State 1 for a first down.
Sure.
And then for some reason, Oregon calls a timeout.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, why would you ever stop the clock up 10 points with the ball first and goal from the 1? I would even take the 5-yard penalty. I'd even take the delay of game penalty down there. I wouldn't even try. I mean, just let it go. So that seems weird. That's that clock management that makes me nervous all the time. So
yeah, Oregon does some interesting things, and you're just not always sure. You're just not sure how you feel about it. You're like, wow, was that what we needed to do? Was that the right move?
Necessary?
But they called the timeout, and then the very next play they scored a touchdown.
It's true. But
they ran the entire clock down. They ran 45 seconds or whatever, and then called timeout. So it wasn't like it was a quick timeout. They burned as much as they could and said, "Hold on, we need a minute to breathe." Our linemen just had to move from midfield down to here. So let's give him a second. We know Chris Boy is a big lineman fan.
All right. I just want to.
I agree with you about the clock management issues.
Yeah.
That I'm not gonna say that felt like a great timeout, but it was just kind of like, whatever. They burned as much as they could and then called it.
I can deal with that. All right. So for Oregon's efforts, they get a rematch with Utah in the Pac-12 title game, and that, my friends, is Friday, 5 p.m. ABC. At least that's when the broadcasters.
5 p.m. Pacific. We have
5 p.m.
East Coast listeners.
That's true. We do have East Coast listeners, and I should be. They're very thankful that we're nationwide.
Global
We're
almost.
almost global. But we will be by the end of the year. So there you go.
Yeah,
another month.
That's the move.
We'll be 100%. Yeah, we'll also be carbon free. I think. I'm not sure if that's true.
We're already paperless.
Well,
stop printing things off.
I mean,
write it down and then reuse the paper.
We're almost paperless.
All of our internal memos are paperless.
Yeah, absolutely. People. They're absolutely paperless. Every one of those. And the problem is I feel like we're just like when I see a Subaru drive down the street and it says partial zero emissions vehicle, and I said to myself, what exactly is partial zero?
It's part of the car. It has zero emissions.
I get it, but it doesn't make but the title doesn't make any sense. We're partial zero emissions. Well, you're either zero emissions or you're not.
Well, no.
So we can't be partial.
Parts of your car that would normally have emissions issues now don't. That would qualify.
But that means we're not zero emissions completely.
It means you're not completely. You're partially. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that either you're zero. Why didn't they say 10% emissions? No, it's not that. It's partial zero. There's no such thing as
it's harder to say.
Well, I'm just telling you from a mathematical standpoint, there is no such thing as partial zero. So there you go. It is 0 or it's not. But hey, whatever. So this is a whole that we're off again. But hey, whatever.
Hold on, real quick. According to what I'm reading here, it says PZEVs, which is by the which is what they're
is that what we're gonna call it now?
PZEVs.
Good old PZEVs.
It says they have specifically designed fuel system liners that prevent off-gassing, evaporation, and emissions due to fuel leakage. These are things that are not existing in normal cars. So they're eliminating every bit that they can.
Right.
And they want you to know that they're doing that. Is the better way to think about that.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing. So why don't you say it's 95% emissions free? Why don't you say it's whatever it is?
It's hard to put on a badge, and you know that. Would you write that on your car?
The problem is they want to use that phrase 0 emissions. They're trying to instill that in your head that it's 0 emissions, right? And that's what you hear is 0 emissions. Oh, 0 emissions. Well, that's great. However, it's just like saying it's beach adjacent.
That means you're near the beach.
Yeah, but we're 95% close to the beach. You still have to walk.
You're head on in that it's a marketing thing. You want to associate yourself with the beach. You want to associate yourself with 0 emissions, even though you don't have 0 emissions, even though you're not on the beach. You want to sell it like you kind of are. So you're right on track with that, but also it's not inaccurate. You are beach adjacent.
Right.
So to call yourself that isn't wrong.
Partially obstructed beach views.
Right.
And when they say that, they mean you're 6 miles away on top of a mountain looking at the beach. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, beach views is beach views, man.
It is, man.
It's not a lie.
You can still see it. You can still see it. Anyway, all right. So the rest of the Pac-12 on Saturday, number 19 Utah, 20. Well, that wasn't even Saturday. I think that was on Friday, wasn't it?
Friday or something like that.
Number 19 Utah, 28-13 over Colorado. Didn't really matter. They were going to be in the Pac-12 championship game anyway. Washington State, 40-15 over Washington in the Apple Cup. How dismal a season is it for Washington?
Oh, it's the best. That's the uncivil war, by the way. Is Oregon versus Washington.
Man. Number 6 Notre Dame beats Stanford 45-14. Number 13 BYU beat USC 35-31. BYU 5-0 against the Pac-12 this year, 4-0 against the Pac-12 South, by the way, to include a win over Utah. Just saying, BYU would have won the Pac-12 South this year.
BYU looks good, man.
I mean, pretty good. Arizona.
And they're moving into the Big 12 next year, or in a couple years, I think, something like that.
Supposedly,
but that's where they're moving,
to fill the Lincoln right. We'll talk about it later.
Yep.
Arizona State 38, Arizona 15, and then UCLA 42, California 14.
God, how bad is Arizona? You just don't want to watch them.
Well,
I don't care.
They did win one, right? But it was Cal who had like 20 guys out for COVID.
Right. Yeah. They won a COVID game playing a team with one hand tied behind their back.
Win is a win, dude. Win is a win.
They're terrible. They are. I have watched a lot of bad teams and gone, because we've watched like Kentucky for years back in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
And thought, man, they're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. Vanderbilt.
Arizona is bad.
Yeah.
Arizona is Vanderbilt bad.
There's been some teams like that. We've watched a lot of bad. Anyway, a lot of bad football. This week in the Pac-12, USC at Cal in their makeup game, the COVID makeup game. That's on FS1 at 8 p.m. On Saturday. But more importantly, the new college football rankings are out.
Woo!
And they are as follows. Georgia's number 1. I think we all saw that coming.
Yep.
Michigan's number 2. And
they just replaced Ohio State.
Yeah, they swapped them out. Alabama remains at 3. Cincinnati remains at 4. Oklahoma State jumps over Notre Dame to become 5. And then Notre Dame is 6. So, do you think Michigan should be 2?
They hurt them. They spanked Ohio State.
Yep.
So, kind of, yeah. If you believe that Ohio State is that good, they thumped them. They deserve the spot. But let me rephrase that. They deserve a spot in the playoff. I don't care about the 1 through 4. Like, you're in or you're out is kind of the way I see it.
Right.
The issue is do they deserve the 2? Well, only if you don't want Bama and UGA to play in the first round.
Which may be a thing.
Like, it could happen. Yeah, I mean, UGA and Bama have to play anyways this weekend, but it could happen that ends up where it is. So when they're putting them there right now, I'm kind of like, are they trying to like position these for like how they're going to play each other, because Michigan, Bama in the first round, that looks great. UGA, Cincinnati, they'll crush them, and then you'll get Bama and Michigan or Bama and Georgia in the second round, or sorry, Bama and UGA and Michigan or UGA in the second round. Either one is great.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of ticket sales. It's a lot of fans.
So I'm wondering if, because Alabama and Georgia are going to play this
weekend, yeah.
Maybe that's going through. I don't know. I'm not saying this is rigged or fixed, but we've always said before things are rigged and fixed.
Yeah.
Is it because maybe they don't want to see Alabama and Georgia play back-to-back weeks or back-to-back games, basically? Because that's what you
possibly, but I wouldn't see why that would.
It would also be.
I wouldn't see why it would matter. I would hope that if UGA beats Bama, that Bama falls out.
I would too, but I don't think that's going to happen.
The question is what kind of loss are we getting? If UGA beats Bama 30-7, like they beat most people,
yeah,
Bama's going out.
They need
OK State's coming in, and it'll be UGA and then Michigan, Cincinnati, OK State, and that's kind of a weird mix-up too. But
here's my question: what if Oklahoma State loses to Baylor?
If Oklahoma State loses to Baylor, Notre Dame's going to be a shoo-in.
I don't know.
That is money.
I don't think they will drop Alabama below Notre Dame.
I think that they will if Notre Dame doesn't have to play, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they don't get a chance to.
Notre Dame's a storyline right now. Notre Dame has press with the whole BK thing, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. So
yeah, we are.
It's just I can see it happening.
Right.
I can also see them cheating everybody and just keeping Bama in as much as possible.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's really hard to say. But right now, Cincinnati is an undefeated team, and yeah, they haven't played a ton of great people, but they did beat Notre Dame, so they're in the right place for that.
True.
I'm just not sure what's. Yeah, they have a head-to-head against Notre Dame. So worst come to worst, Notre Dame's in at 4, they're in at 3, and I feel like that's appropriate. Like if you're gonna have to put them next to each other or something like that. So
yeah, maybe.
It's just hard to say. You never know what they're going to do.
We don't know. And I'm not sold on any of the outcomes of these conference championship games, except I do think Georgia's going to beat Alabama. I think it's going to be a fairly easy win. I don't know how easy, but fairly easy. Georgia's clearly better than anybody else in college football.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm terrified to play them. Oregon plays them to open next season. Terrified for it.
Well, it might not be so bad next year. We'll see.
Yeah, well, they are losing like 20 starters. So here's a question for you. Let's say Oregon goes out and beats Utah 70-6.
Okay.
Do they got a shot?
No. No, because they put Ohio State.
I know it just hurts.
They ranked Ohio State ahead of Oregon.
Yeah, but Ohio State doesn't get to play next week. Oregon gets a chance to improve their resume. So if Oregon won like that, they're no doubt moving them up. They'll probably move into like 6-7 range, but they're not going to move into the playoff. It's just wishful thinking.
The problem with the whole thing is that
you would need Michigan to lose, Cincinnati to lose, Ohio State to have a scandal that gets them eliminated from the playoff, and then you'd need Notre Dame to have some sort of issue.
Although if Oregon were to win like that and all of the teams ahead of them somehow were to lose, there's a chance you could rank Oregon ahead still of Ohio State with that head-to-head win. There's a chance.
See, that's what I want to see. I want to see Oregon ranked of Ohio State at the end of the season, and I think that if Oregon just beats the tar out of Utah, which who knows if they'll do, we'll see if Anthony Brown comes to play, then we'll jump in front of them. If they do that, they'll jump in front of Ohio State, but I don't think they'll ever get close to touching because there's not going to be enough chaos in the top 4 to really make this a thing. I think Michigan is better than the majority of the teams in that conference, which is crazy because I'm always counting out Michigan.
Well, it's been the right thing to do for the longest time.
Is that what it is? It's not that they're that good. It's just that it's been smart to assume that they're going to screw this up.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ohio State loses to them for the first time in, 8 years? It was longer than that.
Jeez Louise.
8 years.
What an impactful loss, too.
Yeah.
All the rest of the years, it kind of mattered, kind of didn't matter. It was big. It was not big. But this year it mattered.
Yeah.
Ohio State was trying to prove themselves after losing to Oregon, then just rallying off this incredible season, and then they just drop a full turd against Michigan. So
and the other issue that Oregon has is that Baylor and Oklahoma State are both ranked ahead of them.
Yeah, so, Baylor. One of them they have to play each other. So one of them is going to drop behind you if you perform. If Oregon performs, they'll move in front of Baylor or Oklahoma, and they'll move in front of Ohio State.
Yeah, but one of them gets a quote unquote better win than you by beating a top 10 team.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I said there's not enough chaos that can happen in front.
Yeah, there'd have to be a crap 10. You need is a 17 overtime game between Baylor and Oklahoma State that's 0-0 until somebody wins at 2-0.
I just like that OK State beat the coach out of Oklahoma. So great.
So let's talk about the conference championship games that are going to decide this, because we could argue who's going to be in and who's not probably all day.
Right.
But the Big 12 championship is number 8 Baylor at number 7, and this was prior to the college football rankings coming out today. Just FYI.
Right.
This is number 8 Baylor, number 7 Oklahoma State, 9 a.m. on ABC. The SEC championship is Georgia, Alabama, 1 p.m. on CBS. The American Athletic Conference is number 24 Houston at, I say at, but it's not at, versus Cincinnati, 1 p.m. on ABC. These are all neutral site games.
By the way, I can give you their updated standings.
You could, and I could too.
It's 21 Houston versus 4 Cincinnati.
Does it matter? Well, the Big Ten championship is number 2 Michigan versus number, I'm going to guess, 15 Iowa?
13. Close, though.
Oh, so close.
That's close.
That's 5 p.m. on Fox. And then the ACC championship game, number 16 Pittsburgh.
Give me the other team now, too.
Against number 17 Wake Forest?
15, 16, Pittsburgh, Wake Forest. You were really close in having them right next to each other.
They were in the last poll. They were right next to each other, and that's a 5 p.m. on ABC. And that might actually be. I'll be honest with you. I think that football game might be the best game of that day.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh and Wake Forest, because I don't know what you're going to get.
I think Houston, Cincinnati is going to be great.
Can only hope. So let's talk about college football coaches, shall we? Brian Kelly is headed to LSU from Notre Dame, and what I kind of thought was a little bit of a stunner.
Yeah, no one was ready for that one.
Kelly went 92-39 with Notre Dame, and by the way, he lost every major bowl game that he's ever coached in. And by a major bowl game, I mean like the big like New Year's Six bowl games. Everyone he's ever been in, he's lost. So
if we would have done this podcast for the last 10 years, I would have said that every bowl game he's going to lose.
Yeah, it's just a thing. They win the games that don't matter, and they have a lot of them on their schedule because as an independent, you can play whoever you want.
Whoever you want, yeah.
And they play
really easy.
Just enough games to keep them relevant. But I don't know. Why is he going to LSU? I guess is the question. Is it money? Does he think being in the SEC is going to make him better? I think LSU's in a bad spot. I don't think that program is where you want it. Not like it used to be. I just
think it's crazy. We're talking about a team that's 2 years removed from a title.
Oh, I know, but it's
just bonkers to think about that being a real problem. LSU is a difficult school to coach. Really? Is it?
Well,
geez. I think he's going there for the challenge.
You think so?
He doesn't have a need for money. He's made plenty of it at Notre Dame. He's fine. I think he's going there because he wants to take a team that's currently on the brink and make them better.
Maybe. You could be right. So Brian Kelly's coaching history, just FYI for anybody who's listening, he was the coach of Grand Valley State from 91 to 98.
How'd they do? What was their record?
So 9-3, 8-3, 6-3-2, 8-4, 8-3, 8-3, 9-2, 9-3. Not bad.
They're pretty good. They didn't win everything. They were a consistent 9-win team.
Every time they made it to the playoffs in the Division II, NCAA Division II playoffs, they lost in the first round three straight times.
He's got that Marvin Lewis syndrome.
So then they changed conferences, right? Grand Valley State, and he was still the coach from 99 through 2003, and then they lost the NCAA Division II championship in 2001, and then he went back-to-back in 2002, 2003, which was what got him the gig at Central Michigan, where he was there.
I did not know he was at CMU. Cool.
Yeah, 3 years, 2004 to 2006, 4-7, 6-5, 9-4. They finished first. They went to the Motor City Bowl, which he didn't coach in because at that point already he had accepted the coaching job at Cincinnati, and coached them in their bowl game, the International Bowl. And then spent 3 years in Cincinnati, 2007, 2008, 2009, where they were 10-3, 11-3, 12-0 in 2009, and would have played in the Sugar Bowl. They did play in the Sugar Bowl, but he didn't coach them. Why? Because he'd already taken the job at Notre Dame. And then he coached Notre Dame from 2010 to current 2021. Overall 92-39. And they had a national championship game vacated in 2012. Thanks to, I don't know, Manti Te'o's girlfriend, I think.
Who?
Right. But
funny.
in his time at Notre Dame, he lost a national championship game. He lost a Fiesta Bowl and a Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, but he lost a national championship game that you, I, and everyone who
He
even
shouldn't have
put
been.
eyes on the sport for a
Right.
full year. This is one of those moments when your record and your performances on the field are not indicative of your talent.
Right.
That team was 12-0, and everyone knew they weren't good enough. Everyone.
Right.
And then they showed it right away.
And then they made the college football playoff last year.
Yeah.
At 10-2 and lost immediately in the Rose Bowl.
Right.
So yeah,
they're just not good. They seem like they're good because they play a bunch of teams, and yeah, they've had to deal with some USCs and some Stanfords who've been going through some of their toughest times.
Right.
But they're just not a great team. Every year in and year out. But he's done great with an okay team.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say he's a great coach. I think he was really good at a couple of schools, and then he took jobs to move up because that was his thing. He wanted to move up. I wanted to go to the next step. I'm not sure that LSU's a step up from a Notre Dame that gets to pick their own schedule and is, never has to answer to a conference, never has to, you know what I mean? I think you're in a great spot there. I wouldn't have left there for LSU. I mean,
he still does set himself up with 4 non-conference games here.
If it's the challenge, I mean that's fine. But I just don't. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's for me. I don't think it'd be a step up. Anyway, the other guy, Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma head coach, is now going to USC.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know why he's doing this because
why?
the unconfirmed contract details, and I say unconfirmed because I don't know for sure, but here they are. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We don't know the length or the term of the contract exactly, but it's $110 million.
Whew.
USC is buying both of his houses in Norman, Oklahoma for $500,000 over asking price, so they don't have to worry about selling their home.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. They're buying him a $6 million home in L.A.
What?
And the whole family, has unlimited use of the private jet 24/7. They
believe in this guy this much.
That's the unconfirmed thing. He will be the highest paid coach in college football, above Nick Saban. And how do you justify that? USC went huge. So what happens when USC pulls the thing that they pull every year, and next year is better than this year, and they go 8-4, like they normally do, or 9-3, don't make the conference championship game? Is he going to give some of that money back?
Probably not.
Restructure? Are they going to take away the plane? What's going to happen? And
are they going to take away the plane?
There's
no fuel in it, sir.
Here's what's more important, and I want to know this more than I want to know anything. Well, let's back up. Riley is 55-10 at Oklahoma. Hasn't finished worse than second in the conference, but has lost 3 of the 4 bowl games that they've played in.
And he's produced 3 Heisman Trophy winners?
It's true, but aren't national championships what you're after? USC's got 100 Heisman Trophy winners. It doesn't matter.
If you can produce Heisman Trophy winners, then you can encourage quarterback talent.
Then why wouldn't you stay at Oklahoma where you've already done it? And you could
at this point, he's banking on the fact, and so is USC apparently, that it's his name and his doing is why they're so good. I hear they took a lot of his staff with him too.
I am going to tell you this: this is entirely about money. I don't think this has anything to do with.
Do you think it could be a little bit of weather too?
Winning football games. I think this is entirely about money because he's in a great spot at Oklahoma. Again, like Brian Kelly is at Notre Dame. Why would you leave that? He could have used that as leverage to get better things in Oklahoma, but maybe not quite as good as what USC was willing to fork out for this. And maybe Oklahoma doesn't have a private jet available 24/7. I don't know. Most importantly, here's the number one question I have for Lincoln Riley, and that is, what are you going to rename your 2 dogs? Because
what is his dog's name?
Boomer and Sooner.
Just keep him Boomer and Sooner at this point.
How are you going to be a USC head coach and your dogs are named Boomer and Sooner? You should have thought about that before you named them. Just saying.
Well, gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah. So that's of all the things that happen, of all the things we could talk about, that's what I'm most concerned about is what's going to happen to those poor dogs. So I don't know.
Wow,
that's a lot of money. He has 2 houses in Norman. They bought them both, and said, now you don't have to worry about moving in or moving out, and we'll fly you on the jet, so you don't have to worry about that. So, gosh, how does?
Well, apparently in his press conference, he said that USC will be the mecca of college football. Did you hear what
Okay.
His former defensive lineman said.
No.
Yeah. So the Sooners defensive lineman Isaiah Thomas said he said that same thing to us the other day.
Imagine that.
Holy crap,
Yeah.
dude's a used car salesman. What's new?
Well, they kind of all are a little bit. You have to be a little bit used car salesman to get to recruit.
You feel like there's some that aren't, like a couple that aren't, but for the most part, yeah, you kind of get the impression that they're all just working you.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey man, come to state and we'll make you a star. You'll be playing from day one, and we're always on TV, and we're going to play for national championships, and we're going to make you into a Heisman Trophy contender. You have to tell every recruit that.
The guys that aren't used car salesmen are the one who seem like they have personality issues, i.e. Chip Kelly.
Personality issues.
It's like oh, this guy's a jerk, or oh, this guy's not cool, or he's a terrible interviewer, or he's tough, or whatever. Yeah, that guy is not trying to sell you. He's trying to win.
What he's telling you is, we would like you to be a part of this. If you don't want to be, go away.
That's great. Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah, that should be.
If you're here for the money, the name, image, and likeness deal, then great. But I'd rather you play good football. I don't care how pretty you are, or if you look good on a commercial, or in that car, or on that.
Did you see that Kayvon was doing a signing on Sunday?
Yeah.
$100 for a large item to sign it. Bro, get out of here.
No, $100.
No, that's terrible. You're going to be a first-round draft pick, and eventually all this crap's going to end up on eBay, and it's not going to be worth a damn thing. No one cares about autographs like that anymore. It doesn't really matter, unless you're a 7-time Super Bowl champion like Tom Brady. No one cares, man. Like, no one cares.
I still don't care about Tom Brady. So you can't even convince me that that's a thing.
But that's the point. He's trying to charge this amount of money for autographs, dude. You haven't even been drafted yet.
Oh yeah. Well,
I went to an Oregon Ducks basketball game. I got pictures with Jordan Bell and Dylan Brooks and things like that, and it was really cool. I got some signatures from them, and that was awesome. If I would have walked in and been like, "Hey, Dylan, can I have a signature? Can you sign my jersey?" He'd been like, "Yeah, it's like $20." I'd be like, "Fuck out of here." Sorry.
Well, yeah.
Hey, put the advisory before this episode.
I always do. We are definitely.
I would not have done it. Not in a million years. Like, dude, you sign my thing and act like you're happy to have fans for a minute,
right?
Or get out of here.
So, let's move. So
yeah, let's.
The Timbers, Portland Timbers, after beating the number 1 seeded Colorado Rapids 1-0 on Thanksgiving Day, the Portland Timbers will be playing Real Salt Lake at home on Saturday for the Western Conference Championship. Laris Mabiala scored in the 90th minute for Portland off a corner kick rebound. And shortly after that, the Timbers' Darren Espria was shown a red card for violent conduct in an altercation with the Rapids' Brian Galvan, who pushed and slapped him. I mean,
shenanigans.
It was shenanigans. And then he took a
pure
dive.
Shenanigans.
And then he took a dive when he touched him. And then in that same, about a second later, Kellen Acosta, who plays for the Rapids, also took a dive when Diego Chara, quote unquote, bumped into him. I mean, he wasn't even trying. I don't think he was just trying to get over to where the conflict was. And he put his hands on him. Next thing you know, he's rolling on the ground like, "What'd you do? Why'd you push me?" Everybody's Colorado at that point, trailing, doing anything they can to try and which is why you don't like soccer. That was the bad part of soccer coming out right there.
Yeah, it rears its ugly head, and you're like, this is a fun game. They're being competitive. They're trying, and it completely demeans it and that even goes against Espria. Espria was trying to kill time, and that's stupid. I hate it. I hate killing time. The goalkeepers who will slowly set the ball up and shift it a couple times, and then walk up and then reshift it. The guys who slowly throw the ball in, it's trash. It's garbage. If you want to kill the clock, run a play that kills the clock.
Right.
That's what all other sports do that have a clock like that.
Right.
But being fair, most sports don't have that. So it's just silly. I didn't like it. And then this guy got upset and shoved him. And then Espria reacted a little bit, but he wasn't even trying to shove him back. He just made contact with him, trying to take the ball. And that's all it was. And that's red card. I don't know. It's garbage.
So
hot garbage.
So the Philadelphia Union will be in the Eastern Conference Finals after beating Nashville 1-1 on penalty kicks. Nashville had 2 PKs saved by Andre Blake of Philadelphia, and the other 2 were just well off target. I mean, they didn't make any of their 4 in losing in penalty kicks 2-0. So anyway, the Revolution, the New England Revolution, and New York City FC are playing for the other spot in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're playing right now, and it is 2-2. Yeah.
In
extra time.
140th minute? Did I see that?
Yeah.
120th minute. Oh, they're going to penalty kicks.
They're going to penalty kicks. They just completed extra time. So that's headed to penalty kicks. The winner will get Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Final. So there's that. We forgot to do the trivia question when I was meant to do the trivia question, so let's do it now.
Fire it off, yep.
Because I delayed it, and then it wasn't in the right spot in the whole, thing.
We got really carried over with the duck stuff.
Did we? Yeah, we did. So here's the trivia question, which I got to flip back a page to go find, but there's my carbon neutral paper. Coming into this one's easy. Today, this is an easy question, I think. Coming into the 2021 college football season, that's this one, in case anybody wants to know. Which school has the most wins in NCAA football history? There you go. That's easy. That's it.
Okay.
Which school has the most wins? All right, so there's a trivia question. We will answer at the end of the show, unless you've got a guess you want to throw out there and just let it ride until the end of the show, like you did last time.
I'll throw a guess out there, but I'll think about it afterward. I'm gonna go with Penn State.
Okay, there you go. Penn State is what Parker said.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to get to the right place because I'm not in the right place, and then I am, and then I'm not.
It's the whole thing, yeah.
I know, right? Second half of the show brought to you by Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Be sure to tune in to BossKittyLive.com for knit-alongs, exclusive sales, games, fun, and meet new fiber friends. They're always doing something on there that's interesting. That's on Twitch, BossKittyLive.com. But go to BossKittyShop.com. Get your DK fingering weight yarns as well as stitch and progress markers. If you're looking for a gift, you can get them a Boss Kitty Shop virtual gift card and let them pick it out themselves. That's Boss Kitty Hand-Dyed Yarns. Yarn so boss you'll knit your pants.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Second half of the show.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep.
Who look better
than
they did. They're now 10-11 after they dropped one last night to Utah, 129-107.
Which is an expected loss.
I guess. Yeah, because Utah's
you want them to be competitive, but you're not expecting them. There are certain teams you're not expecting them to beat. This is one of those teams.
I guess that's okay.
That's why I say when they lose to Utah, when they lose to Phoenix, and they lose to Golden State, you're like, oh, okay. When they lose to Sac, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, and now that they're 10-11, they're in 10th place in the Western Conference after a quarter of the season. Okay, and the problem, the only good news is they're only one game out of fourth place.
Tight race.
The Dallas Mavericks are in fourth at 10-9. Portland's 10-11. And in between are the Clippers, the Wolves, the Lakers, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets. So
the Wolves.
Timberwolves are sixth.
That's blowing my mind.
At 11-10. Well, you know why? Because they won some road games.
I guess if you win like 2 or 3 road, if the Blazers have won 2 or 3 road games this season, we're in fourth right now.
The Blazers are 1-10 on the road this year, and 9-1 at home. Why can't they win on the road? Do you have any good idea? Because I think we talked about it, but I can't think of anything.
All right, here's my guess.
All right.
They're staying at cheap hotels.
They need to upgrade a little.
They are currently trying to conserve salary cap to pay for CJ and Dame and whoever this new GM that they're going to get after they fire Neil Olshey and this new president of basketball operations. They're conserving money, and so what's happening is you got players staying at Red Roof Inns, and in the morning there's no breakfast. So that's my guess.
It didn't come with free breakfast. Is that the reason? There's no
Your
bellhop.
guess is as good as mine.
There's no bellhop to take the. They had to carry their own baggage.
They had to carry their own baggage, right? Their arms are strained
and
from
shoes
walking
are heavy.
through the airport.
Their
shoes are size 16 shoes, like a pound.
Right. Yeah. All right.
These are all actually good guesses because no one freaking knows.
No one knows. And so after the first round of penalty kicks, by the way, it's 1-1. Both teams have converted on their first penalty kick in the New England, New York City game. Just FYI. Just want to keep everybody updated. But how about this for a thing? In the Western, Phoenix Suns have won 16 straight games.
Jeez Louise.
They are still trailing the Golden State Warriors by a game.
Golden State is so good.
Golden State is 18-2 on the season.
Were you the one that asked me the other day, when did we start rooting for Golden State?
I don't think it was.
Somebody the other day asked me and was like, I don't understand. When did we start rooting for Golden State?
No.
I thought we wanted to see him fail. And I'm like, no, we never wanted to see him fail. We wanted to see the Cavs fail.
Right.
And we
When
want to see
Golden State played
LeBron
them.
fail.
Right.
And then we got tired of watching that matchup. And then Clay got hurt and Golden State struggled. And you're wondering why you're not watching fantastic 3-point basketball anymore. So now that they're doing it again, you're like, all right, let's go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's you're not wrong. I think
That's incredible. 60 in a row and are still behind Golden State
by a game.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, the Phoenix is 17-3. Golden State.
And Klay Thompson's supposed to be coming back here soon.
It could get ugly for the rest of the league.
Jeez Louise. Well, they assigned him to the D League, so he's about to start playing G League,
practice,
not D League. G League.
Warm-up game.
Yeah, they're gonna have him get his confidence back in the G League, which I feel bad because they put him and James Wiseman on their G League team.
Yeah,
those two dudes are about to ruin people's lives. It's gonna be such a bad deal.
So in the Eastern Conference, it's the Brooklyn Nets, 14-6, that have the lead in the East. Chicago Bulls at 14-8, but that conference is just as jumbled up as the West. The 11th seed Boston Celtics are 11-10, just a game behind the 6th seed Charlotte Hornets. So it's anybody's thing a quarter of the way through the season. Really don't know. Other than I'm gonna tell you, Golden State and Phoenix was probably a good bet to meet in the Western Conference Finals.
That's fair.
If you were going to bet right now, I'd put some money on that.
Who's surprising you at this point in the season?
I got to say the Wizards are 13-8.
After getting rid of Russ.
Right. And I'm not saying that maybe he was the reason. I don't know for sure.
Because the Lakers are now 11-11.
Right. Because the Lakers are not nearly as good as they were.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves being up there, that's a little bit of a surprise. Everybody else that's on the list playoff-wise is pretty much was in the playoffs last year.
Chicago is
Chicago at 14-8.
They've played outside of their mind, but they also, kind of cheated the system a little bit to get there. I mean, they were part of an investigation about their practices.
How they got some guys.
Yeah, and then
deals.
Phoenix responding the way they responded to losing a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they are. Yeah. They're playing outside of their mind all of a sudden.
I look at the Bulls lineup. Lonzo Ball. Derek Jones Jr. Zach LaVine. Nikola Vucevic.
Remember when everyone was like, trade Derek Jones Jr., get him off the Blazers.
DeMar DeRozan.
He's killing it.
This is a pretty good team.
It's a pretty good team, but it's a bunch of there are good players, but they're not like crazy big names.
Alex Caruso.
Hey, the white MJ.
The best headband in the game.
I saw him take the headband off once. It got bumped off in a game. I was like, what am I looking at?
Who is this guy? I expect there to be a tan line. Like he wears it outside too. So.
100% if I was working like security at a stadium door and this guy walked up to me, I'd go, get out of here. Who are you? He'd be like, I'm Alex Caruso. I'd be like, gosh. I don't believe you. You're 6'1", so you're my height, and get out of here, man.
They also have former Oregon Duck Troy Brown Jr.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. The Bulls are a little bit surprising, I think. And there's a couple other teams in there, but that are But give me till halfway before I determine that anybody's surprising. Because at any point in time, one of these teams goes on a 10-game losing streak, and
it can happen. Yep.
Yeah, and it's
real
just
fast.
ugly. So New York City FC is about to try their 5th PK, and if they hit it, they will win, and they did, and they're through.
So New York is gone.
New York City.
Or it's through.
Through. And the number 1 New England Revolution are out.
So both of the number 1 seeds from the East and the West are gone.
Are gone, correct. And,
all right.
And New York City was the number 4 seed, just like Portland was. So they're both number 4 seeds.
Let's hear it for chaos.
All right, we like chaos. Anyway, so that'll be fun. Philadelphia, New York City FC is on Sunday. That game will be on Sunday. Let's talk about the Ducks basketball team for a minute because
can we not?
We last time we said they looked pretty good. It was early. They looked really good.
They handled a couple games.
They had some, and then all of a sudden they played BYU and got their behinds handed to them. 32 points at home. They lost by 81-49 at home.
And they definitely looked way better. They outscored, and they didn't quite outscore them, but they looked way better in the second half. Like they came out hotter in the second half. But man, it was too late.
yeah, you can't dig yourself that big a hole. And then they also they played in that Maui Invitational in Las Vegas,
right?
Which makes no sense. And they got the opening draw of Chaminade, which was good for them because they won that. But then immediately lost to St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And then Houston by a 78-49 margin in a game.
That might have been the most heartbreaking moment when I get this little ESPN update that says Oregon 19, Houston 49.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was just unbelievably
at the
bad.
half. You're down by that much at 30 points at the half.
They had enough at halftime to tie you for the whole game.
Jeez Louise. Double your score and you're still losing to them.
Yeah. So they did manage to beat Montana last night, 87-47, and they play UC Riverside tomorrow night.
I think they took a little bit out on Montana too, because they got a big
frustrated
fast. And I think they were trying to prove a point. So we'll see if it carries over into this next game.
And Pac-12 play kicks off on Sunday. The Ducks, host Arizona State at 4 p.m. and it's on the Pac-12 network if you want to watch it.
Sunday?
On Sunday, correct.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be good. I will watch that. I will sit down and actually watch that whole basketball.
I'll be working at the Duck store. Plus side, we have all these TVs in there that are all on Pac-12 games. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll be able to watch it.
Nothing else to watch. Let's go to our favorite topic right now, this time of year, and that's NFL football. And I seem to recall, that you told me that DK Metcalf mentioned to you that they were going to win 7 straight.
Yeah, DK Metcalf put on Twitter they were going to go 7-0.
And then they lost to the Washington football team.
Promptly lost.
In an ugly game that was closer at the end than it should have been. It was not as close as the score indicated.
See, the thing is, you would call this an ugly game for the Seahawks. You call this a gritty win.
For
Washington,
yeah.
because the Seahawks are capable of scoring 40 points a game if they're firing on all cylinders, which they clearly were not.
For the team formerly known as the Redskins.
Sorry.
I can't even say that anymore, can I?
The Washington football team.
Football.
We're gonna start calling them, because every time I see it says WFT, I go woofed.
So they lost. I always think it's WTF.
Yep.
And that's kind of more appropriate. So they lost 17-15 on Monday Night Football. They needed a Russell Wilson to Freddie Swain 32-yard touchdown pass with 15 seconds left just to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And the 2-point conversion.
But bigger than that, they needed a questionable hold.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a couple
on Tyler Lockett. Yeah. To get him out of a 3rd and long jam.
Yeah, that holding was not necessarily right. I mean,
they called PI, so they spotted it. Yeah. But holding would have been a better descriptor, but it still was soft.
Yeah,
still was a soft hold.
I think it was more of he just got in the way, the defender.
Yeah, it was a soft hold. Yeah.
But so they went for 2. It was intercepted by Kendall Fuller in the end zone for Washington, right? The ensuing onside kick was recovered by Seattle, but they were flagged for an illegal formation.
Yep, they had that little guy past the right hash mark.
Hash marks. I mean, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, by the way. You got to have a certain amount of people on this side. It's all in the name of safety. We don't want people getting hit.
Trying to keep it competitive.
We don't want people getting hit in football. We don't want, you know what I mean? That's what they're doing.
I'm not a fan of kickoffs anyways, so.
Kickoffs is exciting. Kickoff return for a touchdown is one of the most exciting things in sports. And they're trying to eliminate it.
I have an idea for kickoffs, all right? Get rid of them. You have 2 guys.
You should have saved this for the minute.
Bomb squad suits. Nope. It's right now.
Okay.
They both started at the goal line.
Yeah.
The ball is placed at the 50.
Uh-huh.
You will run and get this ball. Whoever walks away with this ball wins. Or wins the possession.
Okay.
Right? So you can either opt to kick off, or you can opt for this. And so they're both going to sprint towards each other in these massive suits that weigh hundreds of pounds.
It could be.
Yeah, they're not going to hurt each other. They're both
the whole bomb squad
high hell.
I like that.
And then they're gonna what's it called? So one person's gonna get the ball, and that's gonna be it.
So they had to re-kick. They almost recovered the second kick. Really?
Well, yeah. Whoever the back guy was, once it got through that first line, he didn't come right up at it. And then one of the first line guys had to turn around and grab it. It was a miscommunication, big time.
Russell Wilson was playing on his 33rd birthday, by the way. What'd they say? I think we said that was the first ever quarterback to be playing on a Monday Night Football game on his birthday.
That's cool.
Or starting, I guess, maybe.
And it's his number 3-3, well, 3, but it's Vernon or not Vernon.
Double 3.
Jamal Adams, technically.
Seattle's time of possession 18 minutes and 20 seconds, 10 first downs. And they beat. Here's the sad thing: Washington didn't have a kicker at the end of the first quarter. Joey Sly he was injured on a blocked extra point attempt in the second quarter, and apparently no one else can kick on their team because Ron Rivera,
Goodness.
that was part of the reason. At the end of the game, they could have kicked a field. They were down on the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
And they could have kicked a field goal. You would think that anybody on your team at that point could kick that field goal from there. Anybody.
I mean, where's Chad Ochocinco when you need him?
Well, I mean, I would think there's enough guys on your team that had at some point was
Has
a kicker
your punter
in high
never
school.
kicked a field goal?
Yeah, but they're saying apparently, and this is a thing, that this is what they were talking about on Monday Night Football. I heard this quote: all kickers can punt, but not all punters can kick.
That seems fair because I can punt, but I can't kick, and I'm neither.
I don't think that's fair. I think that if you're a punter, why are you not training as a kicker as well? Aren't you the backup kicker? Who is the backup kicker? Nobody?
There isn't one.
The other is it's your punter, and
vice versa.
Kind
of a crazy thing. So the game is on I'm at work, and the game is on the 2 TVs, and I'm watching it, and I'm wondering, why does Ron Rivera hate the Seahawks so much that he must score this touchdown? Because I had no clue that their kicker was hurt. They went forward on a 4th and 4.
Yeah.
And they got it. And then they went forward again at the goal line. I'm like, dude, he wants this touchdown.
Really bad.
He wants to end this game right now, even though 11 points would do it just the same.
No, this is not enough.
I had to turn up the TV to understand that, that kicker, issue would come in big later. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes way more sense because elsewise, Ron Rivera just looked like a dick.
But I watched a kicker kick off for Washington.
Yeah, but that's a place kicker. It's not the same as the guy who kicks the field goals.
What?
Put some stank behind it, and it'll go deep, as opposed to putting a little accuracy on it.
Hit me again, Ike, and put some stank. Anyway, so there's that. So there's that game, and then let's talk about the Chargers for a minute. Let's
talk about the Broncos.
You can talk about the Broncos if you want to.
You got it.
The Chargers lost to the Broncos on Sunday, 28-13. Or if you're listening to Parker's version of the podcast, the Broncos beat the Chargers 28-13.
I should do an alternate Broncos podcast. It's just like, I knew it was coming. It was so good.
Broncos cornerback Patrick Surtain II, because he's not a junior, intercepted Justin Herbert twice. Took the second one 70 yards to the house midway through the fourth quarter. They pretty much put this one away. Chargers can't run the ball consistently. They can't play run defense, and their offensive line is struggling. But more importantly, the AFC West is completely up for grabs. Just completely.
So it's a 1-game difference between the top person and the bottom person, and we're in week 11.
Yeah. And technically, the Chargers are still in second place.
Yeah, but, so are the Broncos.
It is what it is.
So are the Raiders.
No. In the playoff picture, the Chargers are in second place.
There's tiebreakers and stuff like that right now. Yeah, that'll bump them into that. But down the stretch, if the Chargers don't pick up their game because they've lost a bunch lately, they're going to end up last in the division, and then it's going to start to seem like a problem.
Yeah, well, they're 2-4 in their last 6, so there's that because they were started out 4-1.
I think the Broncos are the same actually, 2-4,
maybe
with wins over Dallas and the Chargers and losses everywhere else.
And I think the Raiders are the same.
Gosh. And the Chiefs are figuring themselves out, which sucks.
The Chiefs look like the best team in that division now, and they for a while there looked awful.
They're starting to look really good. They're starting to round out.
Their defense is still a little suspect, but we'll find out. We'll know more about it as we go. I don't know. So I if you're going to pick a division winner right now in the AFC West, would you pick the Chiefs? You already picked them to win the Super Bowl, but I mean,
I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah. They need to figure out their crap, and they kind of have. Okay. So now I think they'll be fine. I think though, if you said that can't pick the Chiefs, man, just dartboard, right? Blindfold and a dartboard. Pick anybody.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Which other of those 3 teams is going to make the playoffs is the question.
Yeah.
And one of them probably will.
The Raiders are dealing with their coach issues, and we're not sure if Derek Carr is still the guy. The Broncos,
right?
Week in, week out, you never know what you're going to get. And then the Chargers, they can score, but they can't stop anything.
Yeah. So the other games in the NFL, and for the first time in recent memory of this year, the no really big upsets in the NFL.
Not really, and yet I still picked terribly this week.
Oh yeah, you were bad, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I got 3 right, and one of them was the Broncos, which I pick every week.
I think you got 4.
Oh well, that's nice.
I have to go look at it again, but I'm pretty sure you got 4. No big deal. But I mean, 4 and 10 or whatever it is. So the Bears 16-14 over the Lions. I mean, the Lions are bad. The Bears are just a bit better. Raiders 36-33 over the Cowboys. That's what enabled them to jump into that three-way tie for second. The Bills 31-6 in New Orleans. The Bills looked better than they had in the last couple of games, so that was good for them. Dolphins over the Panthers 33-10. I did not expect that outcome. I did pick Miami to win that, but I did not expect them to just manhandle the Panthers. Cam Newton,
especially now that Cam's back, right?
Cam Newton was benched after going 5 of 21 for 92 yards and 2 interceptions. Isn't that what happened last time he was there?
He got benched at one point for PJ Walker, and people were like, "What's going on here? This guy's terrible." And then they bring him back and being fair, he's probably one of the best. He was probably one of the best available quarterbacks given your situation.
Colin Kaepernick's still out there.
Colin Kaepernick is still out there, and I guarantee you give him a shot. One, you're gonna get ticket sales. Two, he's probably going to perform at least as well as Cam did this game.
Well, for anybody, I could do that.
Right. That'll be your game will be flexed to Sunday night or Monday night so fast.
I guarantee you I wouldn't have thrown those 2 interceptions because I can't throw it that far.
Interesting point. They should have paid you.
Right. They should. I could have saved a lot of money. I'd have done it for a lot less. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
great game.
The Bengals hammered the Steelers 41-10. I didn't see that one coming out.
Neither did I. They got up really big. I picked them to win. Or no, sorry, I don't think I picked them to win. But when watching the game, I was like, they kind of got this, and then they just kept getting this and taking it way out of reach.
It was bad. Tampa Bay needed 5 Indianapolis turnovers to beat the Colts 38-31.
Oh my goodness! Hold on to the freaking ball, people.
Right. And if they hold on to any one of those, they probably win that.
Jeez Louise! Like ball security. You know what the problem is? So when I used to work at PSU, I used to walk around, and any player that I saw holding a football, I'd try and punch it out.
Yeah.
In the middle of the cafeterias, in their locker room, anywhere. I just punch out a football. And I'd yell ball security when I did it. I need to go work for this team.
You should probably offer your services. I'm pretty sure they'll hire you. Plus, it's Tampa. How nice would it be to be in Tampa or in Indianapolis? Ooh, that's terrible.
Indianapolis.
No, you don't want to be there all winter.
I like that. Plus, it's Tampa. Oh wait, it's Indianapolis. Never mind.
You don't want to go there. That's not worth it.
They have you ever been to Culver's? We'll do this in my minute. We'll talk about this in my minute.
Okay.
Hold
on. New England beat Tennessee 36-13 as the Patriots continue to look like the best team in football. Tell me I'm wrong. Convince me I'm wrong.
I can't, man. They look great. Their defense is playing fantastic. Their offense is capitalizing on every positive thing their defense does. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't see this coming.
I didn't either.
At all. God, they're great.
And I would swear 2 weeks ago when we had our last show, I said something about the Eagles saying, hey, look out. The schedule's favorable. They're starting to turn starting to turn the corner. They lost to the Giants 13-7 last week. 13-7.
Yeah,
and it's the Giants.
It's a weak game. It's low scoring, defensive slugfest.
Bad.
One thing kind of breaks it for a team. I'm not giving it a lot of credit. Low scoring games, I'm kind of like on.
In a couple of who cares games, the Falcons beat the Jaguars 21-14, and the Jets beat the Texans 21-14. No one cares about those 4 teams, by the way.
Those are definitely who cares games.
Although I will say this: Atlanta's 5-6. Atlanta is right there in the playoff picture because you know who holds the last playoff spot in the NFC right now?
Who?
The Washington football team at 5-6.
Hey, there they go.
Right. So,
gosh, the NFC is always so top heavy.
Don't discount Atlanta yet. Although they're 1-4 at home. Anyway, we can discount them a little bit. Green Bay 36, the Rams 28. Aaron Rodgers continues to play with a toe injury that was caused by COVID. I think I'm not sure.
COVID toe.
Yes, COVID toe.
So you got to pull it out and put it on the screen like he did.
Mm-hmm.
You should have shown a shot of him.
I didn't want to. Nobody wants to see that COVID toe.
Are you kidding me?
I mean,
there's people paying tons of money to see Aaron Rodgers' toes.
Plus, I think everyone's already seen it. So
yeah, probably.
It's old news now. The Niners over the Vikings 34-26. Niners
looking good lately.
6-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Vikings continue to be that hard luck loser, but they're 5-6, so they're right there in the playoff picture as well. Vikings have lost a lot of games by a possession.
Yeah. They're in all of them, but now that they lost Dalvin Cook, probably for the season after getting carted off, that's a huge loss, which brings into question. I've always been saying that Dalvin Cook is not. He's injury prone. He does not have the ability to play full seasons, and he does not have the ability to carry the ball 20, 25 times a game. And this was proof of that. And he's gotten injured in 2 of the last 4 years. So
Plus he tends to fumble the ball in the Rose Bowl.
He is fumble prone. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I have no clue how he was fumble prone at FSU.
Right.
He's more fumble prone in the NFL. I don't
worse.
get it.
Yeah, I don't know how you get worse. I mean, well, they're bigger guys, I guess. I don't know. Ravens over the Browns 16-10, as the Browns can't figure crap out either. They're 6-6. And I know that
they're dealing with trading people
Baker's
and
hurt,
big injuries
hurt
and
again, not hurt. I don't know.
I feel like he's just been hurt.
The whole time.
He's playing through it. I feel like what you're getting from him is what you're getting from Russell Wilson. You're getting a guy who's hurt, saying he's okay,
shouldn't be out
playing
there.
through it.
Yeah. Shouldn't be out there. You're hurting
you need to stay away. You need to give more time. But the team is believing that a half-assed Russell Wilson or Baker Mayfield is better than a whole-assed backup. So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that if I was a backup quarterback in the NFL, I'd appreciate you calling me whole-assed. But all right,
it's an unused statement, but I like it.
It is. It's underused.
Half-assed and whole-assed.
It's definitely an underused statement. All right.
Which, by the way, quarter-assed is one cheek. No, half-assed is one cheek.
Half-assed is
What's
one
quarter-assed? It's just like plumber's crack.
Upper outer quadrant of the. I don't know. That's
where the back ends and the butt begins.
I mean, it's hard to say when all this. Oh my gosh! All right, we're getting out of hand here.
We're off the rails.
I've got the wrong thing up. I'm about to try and talk to you about the schedule for this week.
All right, let's hear it.
The NFL schedule. This is brought to you by ESPN, by the way. Provided it's the right thing. There it is. There's the schedule for last week.
Nice. I do love last week's schedule.
Oh my gosh, I had it set and then I didn't have it set all of a sudden. So
people, this is why you listen for these
classic.
fun moments.
Yeah, if you're listening, just listening to this as a then you're missing out. You really got to watch the whole thing. It's something to behold. So week 13, here's your matchups for week 13, and there's a couple of them with playoff implications, and that's New England plays at Buffalo on Monday night. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, I have that on my list of top 3.
Okay. Chargers at Cincinnati.
My goodness, you're reading my list right off. Yep, that's my number 2.
Denver at Las Vegas.
Oh my
Sunday
goodness,
night.
I didn't know if you'd go 3 for 3.
Yep.
That's my third one. That's the 3 that I wrote down in that order.
And if I was going to point to another game
before you say it, let me.
Okay, one more game. Just pick the 4th game, and we'll see if you and I are on the same page.
Got it. I'm going to say Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Oh, I was going to say Washington, Las Vegas. To see if the football team's real and to see if Las Vegas can beat them.
Real?
Yeah, I don't know if either of those teams are real. But yeah, Baltimore, Pittsburgh might be good. But the way Pittsburgh got handled by Cincinnati, I'm not sure they're any good.
Any team that gets handled, though, I'm always expecting them to kind of come in hot. Yeah.
Baltimore is one of those teams and you talked about it. You said Lamar Jackson. I mean, is he an elite quarterback?
Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Yeah.
I don't know that that's true, but he does manage to win football games.
He does.
That. So it's in much the same way that Jimmy Garoppolo manages to win football games. I don't understand how it happens, but it happens. Serviceable quarterbacks, I guess. Is that what you want to say?
Serviceable.
Yep. All right, so playoffs are taking shape in the NFL. And let's look at quickly the division standings, and this is first in the AFC right here. This is thanks to NFL.com. This is your AFC division standings. So the playoffs started today, right? In the AFC, the Ravens are the number 1 team at 8-3.
Yep.
Right? Followed by Tennessee and New England, and those are 2 teams on different trajectories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Kansas City's the 4 seed because they'll be a division winner. And then you would have Buffalo, Cincinnati, right? That's your 6th. And then the 7th team is the Chargers. That's who's in right now if you start today. Just saying that the Broncos and the Raiders both have the same record as the Chargers. The Browns and the Colts are just half a game behind. And the Steelers, technically at 5-1, are only a game and a half behind the Chargers. So they're still in the playoff hunt. Miami, who's been playing better lately, 5-7. Don't count them out. So that's it. But that means that there's only like 3 teams that are out of the playoffs, really, and that's the Jets, the Jaguars, and Texans. Everybody else has a chance, a good chance even. So there's that. The NFC is muddled as well. Your number 1 seed right now The Cardinals 9-2. Green Bay second. I would put my money on Green Bay at this point. If I was going to bet.
Yep.
9-3, even with COVID toe. I think that's pretty good. Buccaneers are number 3 at 8-3. The Cowboys leading the East at 7-4. And remember when back about 3 episodes ago, I swear I said, the Cowboys are running away with this. and look what happened now. They're only a 2-game lead over the Washington football team. Which I'm not saying, I'm just saying. So, but yeah, Cowboys would be the number 4 seed. The Rams are still hanging on to a 5 seed somehow. The Niners are 6. And the last team in is the Washington football team. But the Vikings, the Falcons, the Saints all have that same 5-6 record. So there's a bunch of teams right there. Panthers are 5-7. They're right behind. Bears are 4-7. And the Giants are 4-7. So, and the Eagles 5-7. So there's a lot of teams within a game of that last playoff spot. It's going to get interesting. There's
tough
still
year, yeah.
6. What? Most of these teams have 6 games left to play. I think they all have 6. Some of them have 7 still to play because they've already
couple have 7. Most have 6.
Had their bye week, yeah. So, but anyway, it's going to get interesting. So, no, I think it's 6 or 5. Never mind, I made a mistake. It's either 6 or 5 games left. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's going to be exciting. I can't tell you who's going to win. I don't know who the best team in football is. I will tell you that if I had to put money on the Super Bowl right now, I would go with New England Green Bay. That's where my money would be right now.
I'm going to go with Kansas City Green Bay.
Could be. And I couldn't discount Tampa or Arizona.
Yeah, that's just looking at what New England is doing and being like, man, these guys are really good. But it wouldn't be irresponsible to be like, hey, it could be Tampa too.
And Green Bay had home field advantage over the Buccaneers last year, and they lost it. So in the playoffs. So just saying, anything can happen. So that's all the stuff I really had to talk about. But I think you said you had something else you want to talk about for your minute?
Yeah, a very, very brief minute. Okay. Should be pretty fun.
In a segment we call Your Mother Thinks I Talk Too Much, Parker has the floor for a minute to talk about whatever he wants. So take it away, Parker.
Oh, my gosh, whatever I want. So exciting.
Yeah.
So we are talking about restaurants. We're talking about different food places. And what brought this up was we were talking about where players are staying, the hotels and things like that. And I started thinking they have to go to Culver's to get their breakfast. Have you ever eaten at Culver's?
No.
It's in the Midwest. It's the most greasy, awesome food. It is so great. Burgers and fries and, chicken tenders and things like that. Just super greasy, super bland. And so that got me thinking about a conversation me and Cassie had about which places have the best fries.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to talk about the best fries. So I'm saying the best fries, top to bottom, when they're cooked fresh, all of these are when they're cooked fresh, is Burger King. I need your opinion.
You have to eat them hot, yes.
You have to eat them hot and fresh. Yeah, we're not talking about something you get crap and an hour after it's been on the burner or you've been in the thing. Yeah.
So assuming that they all just came out of the oven.
Just came out of the oven, perfectly salted. Yep.
Okay. I will tell you. Have you had Wendy's fries lately?
Yeah, with the sea salt fries. Yeah, whatever they're called.
The guarantee now that they're guaranteed fresh and crisp, and if you don't like it, you can return them. They'll get you another one.
Really?
Yes.
Can I eat all of them first?
I went through the drive-thru the other day at Wendy's and got a chicken sandwich. Comes with fries, right? And the lady at the drive-thru literally asked me, "Do you want to check your fries?" And I went,
"Dang,
do I need to?" I feel like I don't really
need Louise.
to. I was like, it's going to be a while because I got to drive home anyway. It's like 10 minutes. It's not like it's going to be perfect anyway. But
yeah,
I was like, that is awesome. And she was literally like, if you try them and they don't like them, we'll give you new fries, fresh fries.
Oh my gosh, she's just reading that little script.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's amazing to me. So, but they were good. I'm going to tell you, they were right up there with Burger King's. So that's a new thing. I do, if you're going to eat them after you get home, McDonald's fries are still better.
McDonald's fries keep better.
They keep better for not too long, but for a little while.
Who has the worst fries?
Well, I don't know. That's probably every other restaurant known to man. It used to be the Ranch for all those Hood River listeners. The Ranch in Hood River had the best, not the worst, the best French fries. The crisp cut fries that you get from the Ranch. Oh, with the fry sauce, ridiculous.
See, I wanted to include Chick-fil-A as my favorite fries, but they're crisp cut.
That's okay.
That's what I get. That's not the same as a regular French fry.
Why?
It has a different cooking time.
but it still has to be hot. It
It's a
still has to
different
be crunchy,
process.
right?
Yeah.
Not super crunchy. You want them to be barely crunchy.
I was just
crisp,
trying to give equal footing to
hot.
everybody. I didn't want to include a crinkle cut and a crisp cut.
Oh yeah, there's a whole
straight
different
cut
thing. Well, see, and that's it.
and
I'm a steak
natural cut.
I'm a steak fry guy. So
Oh,
personally, I
gosh.
think steak fries are the way to go. I
If
like
steak
them
fries are done right, they're perfect.
crunchy on the outside, but a whole bunch of meaty, hot goodness in the middle.
But they get done wrong so often.
Oh, absolutely. And then if they're
That's the
soggy, then
problem.
it's just a big old
Just a miserable
miserable
experience.
French fry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but anyways, Culver's great fries. And they're thick cuts like steak fries, almost kind of between a steak fry and a Wendy's fry, which is a little thicker of a cut. And they always do them really well. So just keeping that in mind.
Well, just for GP, because I've never done this before, I'm going to the Culver's restaurant website, and I'm going to go look and see where the nearest.
Well, I like this.
Where the nearest.
It's not
Culver's
close.
is to us, and it's going to come up on
Not
this map.
close.
No, I'm
going to guess Chicago Metro.
Hold on. All the restaurants no locations were found. Please try another address to search for locations. It doesn't even show. I said show
That
all
far.
of them. So let's go with, I don't know. Let's what if I lived in Colorado? Would that be better? Is that closer? Oh, there's some in
Maybe not.
Colorado. There's a whole
There
bunch
are
of
some in Colorado?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them in Colorado. Like 20 of them. Wow. So they're all over the place. So now I want to move a little closer and see if it's any better. Like, what about Idaho? Because now I want to know. I want to go to Culver's now. I want to go see.
Hold on. There's
a
a
Culver's.
Culver's in Boise.
Yep. No, in Boise. That's where I'm looking at.
In Meridian, but Boise.
Meridian.
Yeah.
There's a Culver's right there. So there you go. Road trip.
There's the move.
I feel like there's a Best Lamb Sports Show road trip coming.
Live from Culver's.
Live from Culver's in Boise.
We're talking fries, burgers, and tackles. Let's go.
Sweet. I like the idea. I do. I think it's a great idea. Let's talk about the trivia question.
Trivia question.
Because we need to do that. See, there's Culver's right there. There's your map, people. There it is, right there. See it? Mm-hmm. Everybody see it? Right there. Boise, right there. Stave and Stone Wine Estates is the sponsor of our trivia question. It is literally the Stave and Stone Wine Estates trivia question. I don't know why I made such a big deal out of that. So Stave and Stone Wine Estates open at 2 locations. A winery at the Vineyard, right? Open for indoor and outdoor seating. The wine garden's actually closed for the year, but the outdoor seating's covered. It has little heaters out there on the patio. It's awesome. Open from 12 to 6 daily. The downtown tasting room at 210 Oak Street, 541-490-9461. Open 12 to 6 Thursday through Sunday. You can call them 541-946-3750. That's 541-WINE-750. The holiday hours here are on the website, in case you guys are looking at it right now. Or you can click on this little button and make a reservation, or you can call them, or you can email them. And I suggest you make a reservation because of Oregon and its COVID policies. They have limited seating.
It's probably fair.
But do that. But their holiday hours are right on here, so you know, Christmas Eve, 12 to 4, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, Stave and Stone Wine Estates, award-winning wines, beautiful scenery. The people are friendly. It's a great place to go and enjoy some. They have snacks. They have drinks. It's fantastic. You'll love it. Stave and Stone, wines with personality. So the Stave and Stone trivia question was, coming into the 2021 college football season, right? Which school has the most wins in NCAA football history? And Parker said...
I said Penn State earlier, but I'm going to just go with the Big Ten team.
Okay. You're gonna go with Penn State.
Yeah, sure.
Penn State's number 9.
Oh,
number 9 all time. So not a bad guess.
Can you give me my second guess?
Yeah, give me a second guess.
Oh my gosh, I don't know which one, left or right. Michigan.
It is Michigan.
So that was a toss-up because it was either Michigan or Ohio State.
So Michigan is number 1 coming into this year with 966 football wins.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, but they've been playing since 1870 something.
Right, back when they only had no opponents.
Right, yeah, but there are only 4 teams.
Win.
Yeah. But 966. Alabama is second at 931.
Not bad.
Ohio State is third at 930. 1 game behind Alabama. 1 win behind Alabama coming into this year. So now they're going to be 2 behind.
Yeah.
And unless Alabama wins another game, and then might be 3. So Ohio State's losing ground as we speak this year.
As we speak.
Also on that list, by the way, just for fun, Texas is 4.
Where's Oregon?
Yeah, not on the top 9. Yale is number 7. So There you go. I know, right? Who knew? Who knew that was a thing? That people, played football over there in Yale. But they've also been playing since 18-something. So that's part of the reason why. But that's all we have for today. We're going to be back next week, taped more than likely again. But it'll be available on YouTube on Wednesday, which is the 8th. Because tomorrow's the 1st. Yeah, it'll be the 8th. December 8th will be the next episode. It'll be available on the 8th. We will record it either Monday or Tuesday or who knows when, but we'll figure it out. We're going to have more college football, right? The final college football playoff poll is Sunday. So we'll know that, and we'll cover that. NFL news from this weekend's big games. MLS playoffs. We'll know who's in the MLS Cup final after Sunday. Formula One is in Saudi Arabia this weekend, and it's on ESPN2. Verstappen with that 8-point lead over Lewis Hamilton. And
Verstappen can win this weekend with a did not finish by Lewis.
if he finishes,
I'm just saying, is Sergio going to wreck his car this week?
The problem is he has to finish. If he finishes second or first, and Lewis Hamilton gets a did not finish, yes, he would do no worse than tie for first.
Right.
Yeah. If he wins it outright, and Lewis Hamilton has a didn't, but Lewis Hamilton doesn't have that many did not finishes, so it's like 2 this year. So. Yeah. But anyway,
and one of them involves Max Verstappen's back tire on his head.
Yeah, in which neither one of them finished. So there's that.
Neither one of them finished. Yeah.
If neither one of them finishes for next two races, then Verstappen wins. It's all over.
Yep.
Anyway, it's going to be exciting. I think there's a lot to watch there. In that, will Bottas take out? Would he be willing to take out a Verstappen to give Hamilton the win? Would Sergio Perez be willing to take out a Hamilton or will Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas crash into each other trying to do that? And
ooh, drama!
None of that's gonna happen. Probably
we will. And how many times is Red Bull or Mercedes going to call the stewards to look at the other team's cars?
That's exactly what's going to happen. No touchy. You're not allowed to touch that fin, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a fine. Right. What did Vettel say? What was his quote? Sebastian Vettel.
So maybe if I touch the front wing, it's less.
It's less money. That's right. So watch Formula One. I'm telling you, ESPN2. It'll be on. It's like 5 a.m. on Sunday. The races, qualifying is on Saturday. But record it, watch it whenever it's convenient for you. But I promise it's fun. It's fun to watch. Seattle Kraken. We're also going to talk about them next week. They're doing Kraken stuff, which is being last in the league because they're an expansion team. But there's only one way to go. It's up. So again, we are streaming on YouTube every weekend. We're on Twitter. @Lamb Sports. We're on Facebook under the Best Lamb Sports Show. Literally, just type it in, Best Lamb Sports Show. You'll find it. Same thing with YouTube. If you just type that in the search bar, it'll go to our page. You can check out all the shows. Send us an email, lambsports@gmail.com. We want to thank ESPN, NFL, NBA, MLS, NHL, NCAA, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Formula One, our sponsors, The Range in Yakima, Boss Kitty Yarns, and Stavenstone Wine Estates in Hood Rivers. It's been a Brain Rock production, a division of Lonely Tree Media, LLC. Thanks for listening.